And we're live.
We're live. Yeah.
Oh, let me plug in my phone real quick. So Micah, you said that it's a little too warm out there in Portland.
Well, like too warm from our standards is we deal with like rain like 9/10 of the year, right? So like what is warm for us? 80 degrees it's gonna happen on Wednesday. I'm like, fuck that. No. So I moved into the basement. 80 degrees is too much here, I feel like. Also, I mean, to be honest, I was in the attic. Not a fun place to be in the attic. Upholstery, just like pure sun on that part of the building. So I'm in the basement. I am setting it all up. This is going to be the gaming like dungeon. Like we got all kinds of board games happening down here. Like
Perfect.
Stuff is crazy.
It's awesome.
Also, it's not going to be that hot, so I'm stoked.
The gaming dungeon, the man cave.
The monk cave.
Very cool. What happened to your internet situation, Eric?
I have no idea. It dropped for like 3 hours in the middle of the day, like right at like 11 a.m. And I called the provider, and they were already on top of it. So this is a good customer service story. They already had an automated message saying, "Hey, we understand that your neighborhood does not have any internet right now, but we're working on it, and we'll get it up in a few hours." So that's pretty cool, and they actually stayed true. But listen, man, look, I know we don't get to talk a lot about the Lakers because this is not a Lakers podcast, but I don't know how to feel about the Lakers right now. Like they're good, but they're bad. They're not healthy, but they play hard. I don't know. Justin, help me out here, man.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, as most of I don't know if our viewers know, but I'm a pretty big Lakers fan. Season ticket holder, etc. Right? I pay for like a percentage of their salary, I guess. Right. So I'm a pretty big fan, right? How are they doing? I mean, AD had a 40-point game yesterday. Right? Very cool coming out party for him. I think that it's very meaningful for him and the team for him to step up and establish himself as a star. Like, I'm a star. Like, I can be a star on any team. I don't, me and LeBron just teamed up here, but I can carry a team on my own, which is why we needed Anthony Davis to come in the first place, right? So I think that was a really good win, especially against the second seed in the West, right? The Phoenix Suns. Scoring 40 points against the Suns, that's gonna be a feat. DeAndre Ayton is still a child, so he was I didn't get to watch the game actually, but I imagine this guy just getting handled.
They use their size. They use their size to their advantage.
I saw that they were using Drummond and AD at the same time, and I think that's great. But how do we feel? We should be scared. Yeah. I think we should be scared. We right now, playing tournament wise, we're going up against the Golden State Warriors first. If the playoffs start today, and in a 7-game series, Steve Kerr and Draymond and Curry, they're playoff technicians. They're playing chess, so it doesn't, so they can definitely pick and choose their battles against the Lakers.
I think we can take the Warriors though. It'll be a really good game, Yeah, and Micah, we understand that the Trailblazers won, but we don't want to get into that right now.
Trailblazers own. This is not. Don't take your regular season for granted. Trailblazers own the tiebreaker against the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely,
right. Yeah. And that's just it's making the world of a difference right now for Laker fans.
Oh my God!
And to be honest, I don't want to go up against Dame in a play-in tournament because Dame time is like the closest to like Kobe closing out a game that we have had since Kobe. Maybe Westbrook can do it. Maybe Kevin Durant. Maybe Harden. Right? Can just put the ball in his hands and go to work. But Dame, I feel like, is like the one that can, like, if there's anyone that can do it, it's him. And so it's kind of like, if we go up against the Blazers, if we being the Lakers go up against the Blazers in the play-in, I don't want to see Dame, man.
Oaktown, it's got Oaktown mentality. Yeah. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Not at all. All right. Enough of that. Let's get into this.
We'll get back around to we'll get back around to play and talk. But yeah, man, everyone that's tuning in, welcome to Talk Shot, our weekly podcast where we break down the NBA Top Shot marketplace and NFTs in relationship to Top Shot, and we just talk about the NFT space, how these things affect each other, as well as real life NBA. I think that's something that's missing in some other of the content creators is just like real connection to the league, and that's something we all three of us love, is basketball first, and then collecting, nerding out, Top Shot second. So that's what I love about this podcast, and that's why we started it, right? So before we get started, make sure you follow us on Twitter at TalkShotPod, TalkShotPod. We're always nerding out on there, so join us.
Drink that beer freely, Micah. Drink that beer with ease, my man. Enjoy that.
Follow us on Instagram at TalkShot. And you can listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Music, on wherever you can listen to podcasts. You can find us there. So yeah, our handles are on the bottom if you want to get in touch with us personally. We all kind of have our own like specialties in this space. So yeah, Michael, what are you drinking?
Oh, I am having a cocktail. Actually, it's not a beer, a cocktail. It's summer here. It rains so much in Portland that when summer comes around, you gotta take advantage of it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in a basement, which is actually nice and cool and musky, I guess, but it's nice. It's better than an attic, that's for sure. Like in the sun, not a fan.
Very cool. Yeah, man, I'm tuning in from Casino Morongo, so I'm on that hotel Wi-Fi. So everyone that's viewing, please excuse the quality of my cast today. But yeah, man, we're here. We're gonna talk about NFT marketplaces, just like in general. We're gonna talk about expected value packs, the value of NBA Top Shot packs, and how we're buying packs, and you can usually turn a profit off of any pack. So we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about my just personal current Top Shot strategy, just like just my experience right now on Top Shot, what I'm buying, what I think about trade tickets and stuff like that. So Michael, man, like let's get into the Top Shot news. What do you call it?
The Top Shot top news of the day. Well, so I'm gonna share a thing. I got a pack today. Throwdowns pack is
congrats.
The thing that's happening. Let's take a look back at what that means. So the Throwdowns pack has a lot of people talking for a lot of different reasons. So it is a rare pack. We're coming up into the playoffs, but this is also the first pack that people are talking about EV and whether or not this pack is going to be EV. EV being, I want to say, equal value. The idea being that if you should sell each moment independently out of this pack, will you get back the exact same value or more than what you put into the pack? Up until this point, let's just click through that. Up until this point, people could sell the moments from any pack that they got, just about any pack that they got, and get like more value than what they put in, right? So $10 packs, they're getting more than $10. The $100 packs, they're getting back more than the $100. Even the legendary packs at $999, you're getting back more value than what you put in. Starting with this pack, the question is, are we hitting EV? This is a thing that people have been talking about for a while. And in many ways, actually, so I've got some thoughts, but before I get into this, I want to know what both of you think. What do you think about the idea that we might be hitting with this pack the possibility that the average value of the collector who opens a pack gets $149? Like it costs $149 to get the pack. You're going to sell your moments, if you should sell it right now, $149, maybe less. I mean, what do you think about that? Justin?
Perfect. That's perfect, because rares, just like chases and all that stuff, should be just that. It should be hard to find. You should, you get a hard to find piece, a chase piece, let's say, in a case. There's a 1 to a case, and that can pretty much pay for your whole case. That one piece can pay for your whole case, right? Like, so there's an exclusivity that I think that Top Shot lacks, right? Outside of getting like a holo pack or something like that, where like, every pack has like something that's just like extremely, extremely rare, right? So for packs to only garner you as much as you would pay or less, I think that's like a healthy market, because it brings the hunt back, as we were talking about with Eric last week, is what am I looking for? What am I actually doing? Because everything that I buy, I can profit. Well, that's not, profit has nothing to do with collecting.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, whatever. Like they go hand in hand, but this opposite ends of the token. You're collecting because you want to collect, right? This is because I think the misconception is NFTs and stuff. They came from the crypto world, and so that's it. Already has like this a monetary, financial like tinge. But I mean, Top Shot is like really trying to make a collectible, and people are mad at let's say challenges and the price of the challenge rewards not being close to what you paid for the challenge requirements. But I mean, Jacob says it all the time, and he doesn't say it in these words, but he's just like, who the fuck cares? Like, you joined the challenge to get the prize. You got the prize. This has nothing to do with you flipping the moment. Like, you joined the challenge to get the prize. You didn't join the challenge to make money. And so this is a collector's platform. So yeah.
I mean, I would disagree with you that I do think that a lot of people join the challenge to flip it and make money. And I think that's the problem, or a problem, maybe not the problem, but a problem with how people are, quantifying the value of these moments. Like you're totally right. Like it does come from a world where people see it as an investment, and that's like, it's going to happen with all collectibles, especially right now in 2021, where the collectible industry, like all across, is just like going crazy. Like anything that's collectible right now is selling for more than what you think, like things you wouldn't even imagine. So I mean, these are not excluded, moments. So I honestly can't add more to what you said, Justin. I think I'm down for that. That's totally cool, and it does create that hunt that I mentioned. Yeah.
Well, so something that some people have pointed out is that this is a place that Dapper Labs most likely wanted to get to, and that others have been like waiting for. The whole point is that at EV value, in terms of the pack, Now you're killing off the people who are only in the marketplace to buy a pack and flip the moments and don't give a fuck about collecting. And at the end of the day, Dapper Labs is like, we're here for collectors, right? Like, that's what we're here for at the end of the day. We're here for collectors, not for flippers. And so when you get to that EV, almost negative EV, potentially, we'll see. If not this pack, then other future packs, negative EV value. Like, the whole idea then is now you're at kind of like the normal physical pack opening situation where you're going to open a pack and you might get a lot of garbage, but the whole point is that hunt, right? Like that you were talking about. You're trying to get that thing. With these latest like pack drops, like the base set pack drops, I've got my eye on. I was like, oh, like one of the more recent ones. There's 37 of like the quadruple badge, technically LaMelo balls, the 4,000 limited edition, right? I was like, oh, but you get one of those. To get just one of those, right? Like I'm hunting for some of that stuff, and so if you're not guaranteed that every single moment that you get in a pack, that combined, you're going to get back more value than you put into it, that's going to discourage the pack flippers who are not here to collect. Personally, I think that's where we're trying to get to, right? Like that's the idea or ideal of where we're trying to get. That's not going to be
in a way we kind of have that.
People.
In a way we kind of have that with like LeBron. Like everyone like crosses their fingers for like, please let me get a LeBron. Please let me get a LeBron. You know what I mean? So in a way, it's kind of there. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Get a LeBron, get a Luka, right? Get a Zion. Yeah. There are a few names that you're just like, I need to get that. I would say LaMelo, Anthony Edwards is at that point.
Totally.
And it's interesting. Like, I love finding out who are the different players that you're like, you have to hit that name. And it's interesting the number of people who are not in that conversation. Harden is in that conversation. Kyrie Irving is not in that conversation. Kevin Durant is not really in that conversation. Despite the fact that if we're going to talk about the best players in the league, he's in that conversation. James Harden is in that conversation. It's interesting to find out who the hunt is for. It's a limited number of players right now.
I think if they have like a run it back or whatever, right, with Kevin Durant in a Seattle or Oklahoma City jersey, like, you know, then you Seattle? Might put them in that category. You know, I think obviously there's more moments that are going to come, right, that are going to expand the value of players that have been around for a long time. So
it depends on the mint, though, Eric.
Of course. But honestly, though, like, I trust that Dapper, if they're like, oh, crap, we got the license to a rookie Kevin Durant, they're not going to 35cc that. You know, I just don't think they are. Like, they're going to say, this is value right here, and we're going to do our collectors a great service by not making this a common. Like, this is, you know, like, or maybe they will. I don't know. I you know, you never know, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer to where packs are just available on the marketplace whenever, and people can just pick up packs whenever, just like a regular store. And I think that's the point. I mean, there's a cool thing about, you know, having to wait once a week and stuff like that. There's like a little chase factor, a little, you know, shoe drop culture in there. That's cool. That I think maybe that can stick around. But I mean, yeah, I think like getting to super accessible Top Shot is the dream. Expected value, right, is the dream, and that just makes the valuable more moments like all the more valuable. And the character of the moments, the meaning, you know, like the narrative of the moments. I think that'll start to drive it. And then we talked a little bit about you know, kicking off the people that are just in Top Shot to flip to make a profit. You know, the NBA Top Shot is really trying to engage like the fan base and they've mentioned things, like or that they've alluded to, collecting your team. You choose your team when you sign up. And so I think that there's going to be a lot more utility in regards to that. And fan appreciation. Like, are you a really big fan of the Lakers? If you have X amount of Lakers on, moments in your account, then, this, like the expansion, the beauty, the utility of NFTs, I feel like can only just expand into fandom for NBA Top Shot, like real fandom. I think that's where it's going to be really valuable for people. Is there not the money part? But.
Well, so speaking of which, I'm going to try to bring this up on the screen. What happened with today's Throwdown Challenge was also the first implementation of the collector score. Do y'all see this? Is this showing up?
Yeah.
So collector score, this is the other thing, one of the other big things that people are talking about right now. So the collector score is the implementation of a new way to essentially figure out who should or shouldn't get access to a pack drop. Collector score changes what we've been doing before with the eligibility requirements, where it's like maybe you need to have 15 common moments and 1 rare or whatever. We've been like figuring it out, or rather Dapper Labs has been figuring out what do we need to do to limit who can access a pack drop, because to be honest, there are bots or less and less bots, thankfully, but also more specifically, there are pack flippers. People who are just buying a pack who have no intention to collect anything that they get out of the pack. They only want to flip it because that they know at this point that like the marketplace is hot. You can just make a profit like immediately, which is kind of a rare thing in reality. And so what they've done is they've added this collector score. And so I've got it up on the screen right now. So Series 1 moments for the base set, you got 25 points per common. And so the difference between base set versus non-base set, for example, is the sets that have names, right? So, for example, Cool Cats. Cool Cats is what you would call a common non-base set versus just like the base set. You also notice Series 1 moments versus Series 1 challenge rewards. So challenge rewards are getting a premiere, which is nice. That they clearly have been trying to find a way to reward people who have challenge rewards. And this is one part of how they're doing that. And then you get into the Series 2 moments, which is less, but still something. And obviously, we haven't got to the point of Series 3 or anything along those lines. Series 3 is most likely not going to happen until the next season. Mm-hmm. But so they have sort of revealed this new sort of protocol for how to rank a person's collection, essentially. And so I wanted to ask both of y'all, what is your collector score? So today's rare pack drop, the Throwdowns challenge, was you had to have a collector score of 220. Mm-hmm. What is both of your collector score, if you don't mind me asking? I put a lot of money into this, so mine is high.
It's fine. I was surprised that mine was over 300. It was like low 300s. Okay. But I was shocked. I was like, how? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I was, I guess, eligible when I checked. Nice. But like, and then I went back to what you just showed, the scores and how they quantify it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I definitely didn't think it was that high though. What about you, Justin? Yours got to be higher.
I think mine was like 1K because I started parking my investments in S1s, and S1s have a higher value, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool idea. They wanted to battle. They being Top Shot wanted to battle the rigidity requirements, right? Because let's say the requirement for a specific drop was 15 moments and someone had 14, that sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
what if like 9 of those, or even just like 4 of those, 4 from this like series 1, right?
Yeah.
Like that should be more than just like a moment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you know, like what if they just wanted to collect certain ones and they didn't feel the need to want to, you know, collect 15 moments, you know, but they saw value in a specific amount. So I think, I think it's a really cool idea. And it's in flux, right? They said they're gonna, for now, this is what it is, and they're gonna change it.
And people are talking about that online. Yeah, they're talking about what is like the top end that we're gonna see potentially with like the collector score that you need for eligibility for a pack drop. So like clearly we're talking legendary packs, right? Because legendary, one can assume, is going to have the highest threshold for like entry. And so what might be the highest threshold that one might see? I have no clue. I think even 1K collector score may be a little high for legendary. As someone, mine is 3.2K. And I went onto Twitter, and it took me all of 2 minutes to look at the people that I follow and be like, damn, I need to like up my game. there are people out here with some fascinating collector scores. People are wondering about like Dingling, for example. What are their collector score? Is it 1 mil? Like that's like a thing that's like talking about on Twitter is who has a 1 mil collector score? Because someone has to.
Yeah. Eric, do you know about Dingling?
No, I don't.
He's a Top Shot user, and he's pretty like low pro. Like he's not joining any podcasts. He's not doing any interviews really. He's doing like interviews by like email, stuff like that, right? And so, but this guy owns, I think, something along the lines of 25% of all serial number ones on Top Shot. He owns a quarter. He owns a lot of serial number ones or jersey numbers only.
Like the high end,
like dropping. Yeah.
I mean, does someone like that need a collector's score? Like, no. Like we know. Like that's all. You know, that's the beautiful thing about the blockchain.
We already know the name.
Yeah, we know who and what they are. So like I'm because I mean, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about like it's like kind of like a symbol now, right? Your score is a symbol of something, of your investment or your purchasing decisions, whatever, right? But like someone like that already has it. Like if they removed scores tomorrow, he'd be like, yeah, I'm Dingling. What a fucking name though, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, but he's already like entrenched in the culture. I was thinking as I was awaiting my Giannis reward this morning, if I spiked a Giannis number 1 or a Giannis serial number, I know that I can just email him and work a deal out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy how like, you know, he dropped, you know, he made his presence felt in the community and now everyone knows him, dude.
Well, he has been keeping like the high end of like the market chugging for weeks. I think at this point, a month, maybe more. Like for those who like pay attention, like dive into what the sales are going on, Dingling has been having the highest sale per week for a while now and putting money into this. So like if there's one user who's like, oh, I'm bullish, like short, medium, and long term, it's Dingling. Dingling TS, I think it is on Twitter, or is it on Top Shot? But Love it's dingling, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like, well.
I mean, that's awesome, and I it's like it makes me wonder: does now Top Shot have a responsibility to provide this user with a specific experience, like Topps or Pokemon or Panini? They don't care who spends millions and millions of dollars on their products. They're not giving them anything extra. Like that's So now because everything's so transparent on the blockchain, like it kind of changes that. So are you working towards that if you're investing that much? I mean, obviously, who knows, right? But like, is that something that you think people should expect? Like, hey, I spent $10 million on the Top Shot marketplace. Like, I think I'm worth a private dinner with Roham or something. Like
that's fascinating. That is a good question, though, right? Like, I have spent more money than maybe I should have, but I spent my way into the top 1%. Last I checked, I was in the top 0.8%. And I wonder about that. Like, I don't know what else I can say that I'm in the top 1% of, right? Spotify told me recently that I was in the top 1% of Jay Dilla, like in terms of like listening to Jay Dilla, right? Like I'm in the top 0.5% on that. But like, what else? What else can I find myself? Like, I don't have to spend shit to get into the top 0.5% Jay Dilla. I just listen to him all the time. But like in terms of like a marketplace, I spent some money that I've been left holding the bag on a series of moments. I am long-term thinking, so I'm not freaking out.
Of course, yeah.
And there are a lot of people who I feel like in my similar situation might be freaking out. But I am not, because once again, I am bullish. I think NFTs are here to stay. I spent a whole weekend, this past weekend, talking to people, including, and I shouldn't say this, the CEO of Tofurky, amongst other people who were maybe not, how do I put it? Convinced about NFTs, right?
Convinced is a word, yeah.
Where it's like, but bro, do you not see that the world is going digital? Like everything is going digital, and we can store everything better digitally.
I mean, the problem.
This is an interesting time right now, right? So you're saying?
No, the problem is that like there's all these headlines, right? Of like Beeple and all these crazy amounts of like just all this money that's being spent on NFTs, and people get lost in those headlines. But that's not what's important here. You know what I'm saying? And so like I whenever I talk to people about this, I'm like, yes, I understand that you see the dollar signs, but believe me, there's more to this that's not that. And if that can't be what you're chasing, if you're chasing that, it's not gonna end well. It's not. Yeah.
Or you're gonna be really lucky, and maybe it will end well. But you're gonna have to be lucky at this point in time. You have to be lucky.
Yeah.
Like it's not a guaranteed money maker anymore, which I think is good for the collector, which is most of us. I think anyway.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how that has evolved for sure. So moving on. So I was going to say, so the EV, so that not the EV, that the collector score that was necessary for today's drop was 220, which makes me think maybe it's a little low for a rare pack drop. I mean, what do y'all think? Like 220.
It seems like they hit it because only 50% of that population would be able to get a pack, right? The amount of packs that we're dropping, it guaranteed only 50% of that, which is pretty good odds, and you can either hit or you can miss, right? So, yeah, and then there's rebound packs too. So I don't know. It seemed like that was a marked and measured demographic.
81,000 packs before they took away, several thousand for promotional purposes. But 81,000, that's a high number.
Is it okay? So a few moments ago, we were talking about Kevin Durant, right? And they wouldn't make a rookie moment to 35cc, but if we're really counting on Top Shot to grow, and I think we all are, no matter what your score is, I think we all kind of feel the same. Is 81,000 a lot? Like in 5 years, is that going to be a lot? I don't know. And I hate to be so speculative and not think about the facts right now, but it just when I don't know what numbers mean. Like 35cc is scary right now, but I don't think it will be later on, personally.
Yeah, I mean, there's billions of NBA fans, right? So no, yeah, I don't think 35K is necessarily a lot. It is for us now.
It is, yeah, totally. Yeah.
When it comes down to people have been talking about expectations for the next like giant bump in value in the marketplace, right? And Steve said on the interview recently that I think the people who are expecting that like next massive like bump, if you go back into the marketplace and look at like Series 1 and early Series 2, there was a massive bump. It was February 21st, right? We're probably not going to see that for a while, right? We're almost definitely not going to see that in the same amount of time. Over time, we're going to see that. Maybe from like now to like a year from now, we might see that like that increase in value. But in that condensed amount of time and that amount of a jump, there were just too many factors that were happening at that point in time, including the fact that there was literally just a few thousand collectors at the end of last year. None of us were amongst them. Most of the people who were actually content providers weren't amongst them at that point in time. I think like couple of the guys from First Mint were maybe a part of it. Most of the NBA players who were also collecting were not at that point in time.
It's true.
So it's just a different scenario. And so we're at that point in time in terms of certain marketplaces. And I also, and we can get back around to this, I don't think that comparing NBA Top Shot to the normal marketplace makes sense just because there's a little bit of a difference between NBA Top Shot, inherent differences between just like the differences of the NBA versus, let's say, a stock market, stock, right? For that, stocks come and go based on what the companies are doing. And NBA players are a whole different situation altogether. Somebody can go lights out, right? Like the NBA is filled with professionals and they are competing against each other. So to rise to the top is something else. And you never know when somebody's just going to like shoot lights out and maybe hit like a 50-point, right, game. Or like come out and hit clutch situations in a playoff game. Like all of that factors into these moments that is unlike, I would say, any other market, really, at the end of the day. The NBA Top Shot marketplace is its own beast. And we're just starting to learn what that is. And we don't know. Like, we really don't know. Like, we're in the early stages and we're figuring it out.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like everyday things can happen in the news or in the NBA that can affect the value of the marketplace. Like real life things can happen. And that's like not something that you can predict. So, I mean, Devin Booker can score 100-point game and that can affect the marketplace on NBA Top Shot. Right?
Imagine he did that.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally.
Well,
and that's like unlike a lot of like, I mean, that's unlike anything that I know about, collecting wise.
I was going to say, Eric, what do you think in terms of like comparing to the other sports and other things that you also are involved with collecting, in terms of that like potential immediate impact just based on a single game? That what have you seen?
I don't think that any other sport has a grip on a global market the way basketball does, specifically the NBA. So everything's always going to move second to the NBA, at least for the next 10, 20 years, right? Baseball is a little more exciting right now. There are really good stars and very competitive teams. But even then, like, you know, people are just flocking to anything NBA. So I do think it's possible, right? As we reach more of a larger like group of people that adopt these type of collectibles, because if soccer is year round, soccer has leagues all over the world, like way more. Whereas there's way more competition in the game of soccer than there is in any other sport.
Yeah.
And if that catches fire, that could give the NBA a run for its money. But isn't that crazy, though? It would take multiple leagues of one sport to keep up with one league. That's crazy. But so, yeah, NBA ahead of the game, ahead of everyone. But I do think that I do think it could eventually like spill over to other leagues. It won't be as fast, though. It just won't be.
NBA tends to be on the cusp, like they're on the forward cusp on any number of things. Like the Phantom was a video technology, right? With the Phantom cams that they have going, getting the play-by-plays.
And the star power, like
whoa, oh my god,
that right? The star power. I don't know about. I mean, I'm not that familiar with soccer, but I don't know what kind of who would be the LeBron James equivalent in soccer.
It'd be like Cristiano Ronaldo or something.
I was gonna say Ronaldo.
Yeah. And then you got like Messi, who's like the Jordan. You know, it always trips me out.
Yeah.
It always trips me out how we've been alive during some of the most important sports eras. Magic and Bird. I mean, I wasn't really around, but Magic and Bird, Jordan, Kobe, like just incredible. Messi, like LeBron. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
Tonight, Russell Westbrook got the all-time triple-double record. Oh, I didn't mean to take your lead, but
no, it's all good. Totally. I mean, it's not mine, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, he just passed Oscar Robertson, which is But yeah, so I mean,
this hasn't happened in 50 years. 50 years.
Yeah, he just passed them, and so which is super interesting, right? Like, they're in Atlanta. So does Atlanta give them the game ball, or do they celebrate it when they come back to Washington?
He has to get the game ball.
Give him the game ball, right?
Yeah, and then but it's interesting though, because the Wizards and Westbrook is really just like it really just seems like it's just a place for him to like land for now. He's just passing through.
Yeah.
Right. And but he had this momentous achievement. So like, what does that really mean? Like, I feel like I feel like when he retires, it's gonna be like, yeah, Westbrook, he has the triple-double record, and people will always picture him in OKC jersey.
Yeah, they will. Westbrook is so interesting, especially because he just came out a couple weeks ago saying that he's just living for his own legacy. He's playing for his own legacy. He doesn't he doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't think that he doesn't believe that if he doesn't win a championship that he had a bad career. Like, he's like, that's not gonna determine whether I have a successful career or not. So it's just so interesting. There's something cool about that, but it's also like, Westbrook, you're unreal. He's such an unreal basketball player, and the fact that someone like that was never going to even come close to winning a title is crazy. And I don't know. Yeah.
And he's also from like, well, he's from LA, right? So like he's from our old stomping grounds. Like I think about James Harden all the time, like coming from Artesia. Like when growing up, I spent a lot of birthdays at what was the name of that park? But it's across the street from Artesia High. And so like I think about that, like, holy shit, like I have probably spent some years at that park literally across the street from like Harden, probably like playing ball in like whatever situation they had going on over there. Because I'm a little bit older. I'm not going to say how much older, but like thinking about that, like I always like, that's why there are certain players, DeRozan, you know, that I'm always going to be like on like I'm about you because you know what is real. And you went and you got it done. Like I was like reading about Aaron Aflalo today. Did you know that he was one of the potential buyers of the Timberwolves? He wants to be a franchise owner because he's like, you know, fuck a coach, fuck a GM. I want to be an owner. You know, like he's thinking. He's like, I came from Compton. You know, like I used to sell donuts at my high school for 40 cents. Profit. Like I'm thinking what that next level is, and I get that. Like coming from the streets of LA, I get that. I fucking like what is next level, and I appreciate that, and that's why I like appreciate certain players, you know, because like you came through that gauntlet. It is not easy. Like that's why I also like people who came through like Chicago, AD for example, people who came through New York. Like you went through a gauntlet of challenges and like tribulations to get where you are today. Like you are a player. If you got to this point, you have to be. Like there's no other way around it.
Yeah, I think I mean this kind of became about Westbrook, but I think just in general, if you're a player that became a household name for a certain amount of time, like you're successful. Obviously, just get into the NBA successful. Like this is make that clear, right? But like you're talking about LA natives, like, you know, Tyson Chandler always comes to mind. You know, that Dallas Maverick run, like I'm not saying I'm not like a basketball snob, but like he played such a big, they wouldn't have won that without him. Like he probably
single-handedly placed that ring into the Mavericks' hands, dude.
Absolutely. Like, but like, you know, but he doesn't get the shine. Who gets it? Jason Terry or even JJ Barea. God damn it.
Josh Howard.
JJ Barea destroyed the Lakers. Yeah.
He was doing the dirty work inside. He was doing the dirty work inside.
He was killing it. So funny story. I kind of want to, it's on topic. So one time, me and my buddy, we were hanging out at a 7-Eleven across the street from the Cal State Dominguez Hills campus, right? And that's like adjacent to Compton. And I think Antonio Pierce is from that area, right? And this was right after they just won a Super Bowl, the New York Giants. My friend is a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, right?
Oh, rough.
Yeah. So he walks out of his car and we look at each other and we're like, that's Antonio Pierce. And we're like, hey, you're Antonio Pierce, right? He's like, yeah, what's up? Are you guys Giants fans? And we're like, fuck no. Like, I'm a Cowboys fan and he's an Eagles fan. And he's like, oh man, get out of here. And yeah, hilarious. Yeah, fantastic. Oh man,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
you're from LA, like in like the late '90s and early aughts. Like, what football like team do you follow? Right, like
right.
Yeah. We didn't have anybody. Like they had all left. So what? Like, oh, you're gonna be a Raiders fan? Like that's not boring, but that's lazy. Oh, okay. You're a Raiders fan. I'm like, yeah, I am too, I guess.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. You know, like it's just we just happen to like your rivals. But are we moving on to next effing thing, or are we still on the news?
I say let's move on. Yeah. Unless there's anything else that you want to know about the like. there's the Dapper Showcase Challenge that might be happening for the finals, but like we don't know anything at this point. Just that, FYI, people have found what would appear to be an Easter egg in a webpage. Actually, it's NBA Top Shot / was that, I want to say, tournaments or something like that. That is an inactive web page. But instead of the 404, you get like there's an air ball, like there's nothing happening here. And for those who are paying attention, I think it was NBA Top Shot Nerd was the name of the Twitter user. He found buried in the source code that there is a challenge, and it is what it would appear to be a finals-based challenge where you put together a showcase, and it's very much DFS, right? Like daily fantasy, where you're putting together the best 5-person lineup that you believe will fucking kill it during the finals. This is all that we have at this point in time. Nothing has been officially acknowledged. However, it is there. And the Dapper teams have said, I think it was the exact same day that they discovered that the Top Shot Nerd had discovered this Easter egg, that they were putting Easter eggs into the code itself for people. I mean, like, it's the future, right? Like, I mean, we're already talking about the future. We're talking about, like, this is what is going to kill, not kill, but like this is like the next step to like baseball cards, but basketball cards, etc. and so on. So, of course, you're going to start doing some things like some Easter eggs in terms of the source code, just like hidden around online. And so this appears to be that next step. There's a lot. We can talk about it next week in terms of what that might mean in terms of who should you get after. For example, Kyrie Irving is one of the names, but we're looking at a potential final showcase challenge or like tournament, which Justin, you and I were talking about. What does this end up being? It's not about like putting up the most obvious 5 like best players in the finals. You're trying to find that role player. You're trying to find that 5th person that's going to make all the difference in one game to the next, because it's a daily situation. You can change your showcase daily.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I find that exciting.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a finals DFS, finals implementing that it's the final 2 teams, of the NBA playoffs. So you only have a very finite amount of players to add to your roster. And so you're only, everyone's going to roster Kevin, assuming the Brooklyn Nets get there, right? Everyone's going to roster Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. You know what I mean? Like, so like, it's kind of like, and how many people are there, on Top Shot, the 200K, 300K users? There's obviously going to be multiple ties for first place. So there has to be more to it than that. I can't wait to figure out what the actual rules are. I assume that it's going to be for the entirety of the playoffs, just to give it more variety, maybe a accumulation of points. That way, you're just building on the points, since the beginning. Who knows? But yeah, there has to be. There has to be more to it than that. And then they've also said that they're going to start, they've hired on some marketing specialists, some influencers, some marketing VIPs onto the team. And they started sometime this week. So I think they're onboarding this week. So they're just gearing up for the playoffs, and I think if we're looking for the next the next climb in sales or the next value bump in sales, it's going to be during this playoffs. So people should be getting ready for that. And then if they're adding the utility of a fantasy of a game, then there will definitely be some skyrocketing of certain players. So I think if you're just starting your Top Shot journey now, you might want to start collecting players that are playoff bound, that might play some pretty good roles. Everyone's going to know, the Jokic's and things like that, but you might want to, invest in a little Facundo Campazzo. You might want to invest a little bit in Jalen Brunson. Maybe with Jaylen Brown getting injured and being out of out for the season, maybe Evan Fournier might be able to make some noise. Yeah, he might just fill in those 20, 25 points. Who knows? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's super exciting.
I've been getting Clippers, to be perfectly honest, and I hate to say it, but like after some of the recent games, specifically the LA Lakers Clippers game,
yeah,
I think that the Clippers are like quietly, potentially.
Just say it.
They might win it all, man.
Yeah, just say it.
Bag. Like the Clippers might come away with the trophy this year.
You know what?
That's crazy to say.
Gosh, I hate that I'm about to say this, but I think you're right. I think the Clippers could win the championship this year. I think that they're kind of running under the radar right now. You know what I mean? There's really not a team in the East that could really match up with them. But hey, they've had fantastic teams for the last, I don't know how many years. So yes, this could be the year for them, though.
Only for like 5 years. Like, come on, let's be
honest. I think we've discussed this before, Eric, that the Clippers are a little underrated this. They were overrated last season, and they're a little underrated this season because of the unraveling in the playoffs last season, right? So people think less of them now, but playoff Rondo and Cousins, dude, coming off the bench. Jesus Christ, dude. DeMarcus Cousins come off the bench. You got a double with like 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks coming off your bench, dude. Like, man.
Look, I know we don't want to talk too much about what happens like on the court, but I do think that there's a psychological element to the Clippers. I really feel like they walk into the postseason knowing that they're gonna lose, or like at least in the back of their minds, like thinking, "Shit, we might lose." Whereas like
nothing
other teams,
to lose. They have nothing to lose.
I mean, I don't know, sure, but I think it works against them. I mean, whatever. If you're a fan, unfortunately, if you're everyone else, then But I don't know what it is like. But if there's a team that's going to overcome, I think it's going to be this one. I think they're really set to do that. Should get a Rondo rookie or something.
Don't bet against Rondo, man.
Yeah, no.
Playoff Rondo is real, and people like to laugh and joke about playoff Rondo is real, like straight up. Like he can lay an egg for an entire regular season, and he don't give a fuck. And at the end of the day, like he gets shit done in terms of like his playoff teams. Like I would not bet against playoff Rondo, which is also honestly why I'm like not betting against the Suns either, because Chris Paul is balling out. He wants to get it done. He's got some like young dudes behind him with Booker and Ayton. Like the Suns are interesting to me. The Suns are a good team. Very interesting.
The Suns are a really good team. I would rather see Chris Paul and the Suns. If it's not the Lakers, I would rather see Chris Paul and the Suns win a chip before the Clippers. And
look, I'm with you too. Look, I don't even live in LA, and I got that hate. But like,
I think Chris Paul deserves one. At some point, he deserves one, but
he does,
and that's a good team. I think the Lakers beat them yesterday because it was a 1 game. I think the Suns got comfortable. The Lakers it was a must-win game for the Lakers. They used their size, and I honestly though think that the Suns are like, oh shit, like they can beat us if they really wanted to. So there's that too. But all right, enough of that. Can we talk some NFTs for a second? All right, so
let's get into it.
Let me share my screen really quick. I'm gonna show you guys this headline. There's a lot going on always, but this is something that really stood out to me, and I want to open up a conversation with you guys. There is a marketplace called Bitski. Do you guys see this?
I do.
Bitski just received 19 million in a funding round, which includes Jay-Z's Marcy Venture, Serena Williams, a bunch of executives from TikTok, Adobe, I think even Twitter. So, Bitski is advertising their services as the Shopify for NFTs, which is interesting. So I went on Bitski and I got an account. I have a MetaMask, but they didn't use my MetaMask. I had to create a brand new wallet where you can purchase Ethereum directly on the Bitski marketplace, on their wallet, which is interesting, which leads me to the conversation that I want to have with you guys. When it comes to NFTs, where are we headed? Are we going to 30, 40 different wallets and marketplaces that we have to have accounts for? Or is somebody going to eventually figure it out and be the eBay of marketplaces, of NFTs? Like, do you guys ever see that happening? Especially when you have the conversation of social coins and all these different platforms wanting to provide different value for using their platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it sounds like that you should go ahead and patent that idea right now and just leave this podcast and start working on how to do that, because like this whole culture, multiple wallets, multiple platforms, multiple ways on how to buy the same thing. Not the exact same thing, but multiple ways to buy NFTs because they live on different platforms is like super confusing, and I don't got time for it. I gotta like read up on how to go about it. Micah didn't know how to open his Garbage Pail Kids because they were in some other wallet. You know what I mean? Like there's like we bought it from one place and then like it's in some other place and we can't open it until we do this other thing. It's like, that's crazy. I'm not into it. Top Shot's where it's at for me. So until which like NFTs is still so new, so everything's in beta, right? And so the user experience is not a priority for them. They're just trying to get their shit together. They're just trying to make it work first, and then the user experience will come later when they're ready to market and all that stuff, right? So I mean, yeah, dude, please make it easier for me to get OmniCoin because I don't. Bitforex.com and then what do you press? I don't know.
I mean, like, this is like the early internet, right? Like the early search engines. I am old enough to remember. I was using Google when they were literally in a garage. Like their servers were in a garage. It was like 1998, which is to say that who the fuck knows? I have a lot of. I think that Wax has something interesting going on. We don't really see Flow. We really don't see Flow. Like Flow is really the blockchain for Dapper Labs, right? Mm-hmm. So Dapper Labs is known for NBA Top Shot, but like NBA Top Shot is not the name of the blockchain. Flow is a blockchain, and they're starting to spread out and do other things. Genies is one of the more recent things that they have put some money into, and we know that UFC is going to come. We know that WNBA is going to come. At a minimum, those two would appear to be on the Flow blockchain. But the Flow blockchain is so far been limited to the brand itself, whereas in Wax is kind of just like doing its own thing. I will say this, you have to be careful when buying things in the Wax blockchain. For example, you could go to waxstash.com, and I am not a fan because it is very easy to be scammed on waxstash.com. And their admins, not helpful. They are just like, oh, you got to do your research in advance. You're going to come to our marketplace. You should do your research in advance, because then you might lose your money, because we have literally no warning, no communication whatsoever on the fact that people just scam our users. So you have to watch out about that kind of stuff. Whereas in NBA Top Shot so far, and they do talk about the fact that they want to open up and have essentially their blockchain open to third parties in a much more open basis, essentially, in terms of doing what you can do. But they are concerned about the early stages in it. I am seeing on the Wax and other platforms why you would want to be concerned, because it is easy to scam people because you can just fake shit. That is what I discovered. I bought a Weezer pack on a Waxstash that did not actually exist, and there is literally no one to go to about any of it. I spent money to get a thing that doesn't actually exist, and no one on Waxstash has anything they're like, oh, fuck you and fuck your mother. My name is Waxstash.com. So you have to be careful about that kind of stuff. Where we don't have to do that with the Flow blockchain so far. But we're early stages, right? What happens when you get to the point where there are those guards in place on all the different blockchains? That's what's interesting.
So I think that, if there are companies like Bitski who are trying to be the Shopify, I think eventually somebody's going to figure it out, right? It's just so complex. If, let's say, eBay, who's saying that they want to eventually accept cryptocurrency on their marketplace, to even in my brain, because I know we all know how fast we've moved in advancing marketplaces and e-commerce and all these things. I feel like I'm very optimistic that eventually we'll get to a marketplace where you could even take your moments and sell them on there if you want, right? And that sounds weird because it's a different platform, but I think we're headed that way. I think it has to eventually. Next thing I want to talk about is, very briefly, by the way, and I mostly just want to talk about utility of NFTs. Recently, Gary Vaynerchuk released his VeeFriends NFTs, and I don't know if you guys saw these, but I think it's very cool. I think these are very community-oriented NFTs that provide access to the people who own them. So there's tremendous utility here. Let me show you here. They're a limited amount, obviously. I don't know, I forget how many, but a couple thousand, maybe 30,000. Let me see, 10,255 in 3 categories. So you have access. In these access NFTs here, there's Breakfast Bat, Brunch Bear, Lunch Ladybug, and I imagine that each NFT gives you a different experience. Aside from that, you have the FaceTime NFTs. You can work out with Gary Vaynerchuk. It seems like you can jump on a podcast with him. You could. There's one where you could play basketball with him, I believe. And there's crazy access and utility in these NFTs. This one right here, there's bowling, boa, butterfly, basketball, butterfly. Interesting for a lot of reasons. So I want to ask you guys, is there anyone who you would buy NFTs from if they gave you this kind of access to their careers or professional life?
Candace Parker.
Doesn't have to be an athlete. You wouldn't want a Green Day NFT, Justin, to hang out with?
I was gonna say, I was gonna say Billy Joe. I was gonna say Billy Joe. It was literally on the tip of my tongue.
It'd be super cool.
Billy Joe. Yeah.
He is an entertainer. He is an entertainer. Having seen Green Day live several times, entertainer. You can say what you want about Green Day, but at the end of the day, watch them live. You're gonna be fucking entertained. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like one of those movies where like you don't have to watch the first movie to get the second movie. Like you can just go to a Green Day show and just enjoy it.
Green Day is the Keanu Reeves of music. Like,
that's incredible. I never heard that.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna have fun. Like, you can talk all kinds of shit. You can be like, "Oh, they're not that talented." You're gonna have fun.
You're gonna have fun. Yeah, absolutely.
And why are you there? You're there to have fun. So
that is crazy.
Yeah, totally. I would have to get back to you next week and think about. I would really want to think about who I would want an NFT of to interact with. But yeah, man, that's a big deal.
I actually bring this up because I see more people doing this. I actually see more celebrities or people of high status creating more access in this way. And there's, as long as they're relevant and alive, I guess, these NFTs are gonna only appreciate in value.
But is this access to a celebrity just a result of COVID? Because celebrities, there's less work going on. They're at home, right? So they have more access, right? Because like, is it just now happening because NFTs are happening now, or Maybe. Are they more accessible at this time because of the way that the world is right now?
I mean, I think whatever happened last year is gonna affect the next 5 years. You know what I mean? So more intimate settings, more like one-on-ones or small groups, I think are gonna be more acceptable or preferred, I imagine. But also, like the NFTs that I just showed you give all NFT owners access to a special convention. So there's also like a larger community aspect in terms of access and what you can attend. So you can use it for year one and then sell it. If year one is a success, you can be like, you want to go to the next one? I could sell you this NFT for whatever, 4 ETH. And then boom, like I don't care about year 2, 3, or 4. Like I went to 1, I'm good. So like I just think it's cool. I think that like we think about like concert tickets and what that can do, right? And like if someone's on a tour and you buy one for one city, but it also gives you access in another city, you can sell it by the time they get to the next city. And then, it just moves around like that. I don't know. It's just possibilities are endless, and I think it's exciting. So,
I mean, to kill Ticketmaster would be a thing, right? Like, to finally kill Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ticketmaster has 9 lives. Ticketmaster literally survived the music industry apocalypse. So I don't know.
They did.
All right. Are we opening these packs or what?
Yeah, man. I think that's what all the people are here to see, man.
Okay.
Pack popping.
All right. I'll do mine first, if because I'll do do us all a favor. It's a pre-reg, so we got to build up to. Are you gonna open a pack, just Micah?
I am. I'm gonna. I gotta throw it down pack. Let's open it.
Let's save the best for last. Throw down pack. Yeah. Save the best for last for sure. All right, let me get this going. Let's see.
Are there any? Is there a challenge showcase? A challenge happening with the throwdowns yet? Is it announced?
So yes, there is already a throwdown challenge, and the thought is that there may be a throwdown master.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But yeah, we'll get into that.
There's 51. There's 51 of them.
Yeah.
51 is a weird number.
Yeah. Let's do it, Eric.
Let's do it.
Good luck to you.
Let's see. I sense a LeBron in here somewhere. There's a LeBron in there.
May you have a LeBron or low cereals.
Like may you have a LeBron is like that is the prayer in NBA Top Shot.
May you have a LeBron. All right, here we go. Let's start in the middle. What do we have? We have a common.
Well, LeBron doesn't.
We're just talking about Campazzo.
I like Campazzo. Like, look at that assist.
Cool.
Like,
that's very cool.
I yeah.
Baku, man, don't mess with him.
He's old too. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, dude.
30-year-old rookie. Like, we'll see how that goes, but I think he's dope.
Oh, double badge.
Exactly.
There you go.
Rookie badge. Cool. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got here.
Another nugget, dude.
I like Millsap. Millsap's cool.
Dude, that's a good number. You got a decent cereal.
Yeah.
Decent cereal.
1,200.
But out of 12K.
Yeah.
12K, yeah, 12K.
Oh, so that's his first. That's his NBA debut.
Where do you see that?
Because it's 1,200.
Ah, I see. Yeah. I see. Okay.
1,200 means NBA Top Shot debut. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. You know, I got to tell you, like, ever since the badges got released or rolled out, like, it makes it a little better. It makes it more.
Yeah, I like it. Like, because like if you don't hit one, you're like, fuck.
I mean, it doesn't do much for
the bad pack.
It doesn't do much for the marketplace, but it's cool to have. You ready?
Last one. LeBron doesn't play for this team either.
Joe, that's not how you spell LeBron. What's going on?
That's not how you do a 3-point.
Yeah, come on.
What are you known for? You're known for like doing 3-pointer.
That's awesome.
Also,
hey man, congrats, dude.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's cool though. Cool though. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Only 2 weeks ago.
Very nice. Congrats.
All right, Micah.
All right.
You're up.
Let's do it. And I got to skedaddle. I'm out here in Morongo with my family, so we're going to go bowling pretty soon. I'm about ready to go bowling and have some cocktails with my mom. So.
I was going to say, isn't there a...
casino?
Yeah. There's a casino, right? Like.
Yeah. There is a casino. I didn't get in until 5 a.m. because I was playing Hold'em, and I had a really bad beat. I had pocket aces, and I was trying to bet them. Off. There was a flush draw. There was a king, and there was a flush draw on the flop, and so I bet very, very aggressively to get the other two remaining players off because I saw that there was a lot of potential. There was a lot of outs. So I bet very aggressively, and it was a 3-way all in. Basically, all three of us were all in, and my player on my right, he had king queen. He had a pair of kings, so I had that covered. And then the player on my left, he had 2 diamonds in hand. And there were already 2 diamonds on the board. He turned the 5th diamond. And
sorry.
I was just like, and the amount that I bet was way more than the pot. It wasn't worth, like I was trying to not make it worth for anybody to play.
What you have to do at that point, like you're like, fuck you. You're gonna go fishing for a diamond on at the end. Like
you're gonna put all that, you're gonna go all in to see if maybe it'll happen, whereas I already have the best hand.
Smart.
That's
the right move. That is the right move, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't really be mad because I played it the way that I'm supposed to play it.
Rough.
Right? But hopefully your throwdown pack has a lot better luck.
Well, so I'm gonna open 2 packs if y'all are okay with that, because I hate just having packs around. So, yeah, y'all are okay with that?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Just reveal all, like a madman.
Jesus.
Let's do it.
No.
Oh shit. Okay, I know Jeremy Lamb, but I got
That's awesome.
3
Yo, dude,
Top Shot
you got
debuts.
all. Yeah, dude, that's an amazing pull.
Dude, that's awesome. I
Okay
can't believe
with
you just
that?
did that.
They're all 12K LE.
Have you noticed also, by the way, this view my progress? This is interesting. When they so the notable pull is the lowest serial was this, which is okay.
3,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Yo, man, DFS Dorian Finney-Smith. Don't sleep on him, dude. He's gonna be one of those role players on the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs that's gonna go off. So
Good to know. All right.
So,
Throw down.
let's do it. Hold your horses.
Ooh, it's a lot of moments.
So this is going to be
the blue one.
Oh my god. Yeah. You guys can't hear the music. It is so loud. Okay. Well, let's do it one at a time. Oh, I'm okay
Joe
with
Harris.
892.
You can mute the music top left.
Oh yeah, I just muted it.
Okay.
That's right. We were talking about this. It's weird to see Joe Harris doing a dunk, but
yo, that's a good serial number.
It is.
Yeah. I am okay with that. I'm not gonna lie. I think 342.
Brandon Clark,
the youngster.
Oh, okay. He flew for that.
Yeah.
Is that Bertrand's? Bertrand's is like, I do not want to fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's like, this is not a 3-pointer.
Okay.
Oh,
how?
Nice. You can have
Lots of debuts.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is that still an assist though? Because Hachimura.
I always wonder, like, how many touches does it take for? Oh,
dribble.
I do like that assist.
Yeah, that's
like
nice.
behind the back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, how many touches does it take for it to be considered an assist? You know?
Yeah, I think it's a gather.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with
Chuma.
Like,
woo!
Yeah.
It's fire.
Like, this is going for like not much right now in the marketplace. But
come on,
I don't care.
You're like twice his size.
Chuma is here to stay. Chuma is here to stay.
Not a good look, Drummond. Not a good look.
Very good rookie. Chuma Okeke. Chetty Wap.
Oh.
Chetty Wap.
Chetty Wap.
Oh,
I forgot. Oh, look at that. That's Clarkson, isn't it?
It's almost a LeBron. Yeah, it is Clarkson.
That's
a far less
LeBron
important game.
That's LeBron adjacent.
I like it.
All right, here's your LeBron.
Here we go. May
you get a LeBron. Oh. Okay. Shit.
I mean,
pretty cool though. Ooh.
I think a 367.
Yeah, that's a really good serial number out of 1800.
Very nice serial number.
You know, Montrez.
Yeah, I like Montrez. Honestly.
Energy guy. Defense, exactly. Not so much, but
that's awesome.
I'll just wait for him to like kill some shit in the playoffs. hopefully.
Yep.
So
Yep. He'll have one. He'll have one big game. He has to, at least one.
Very nice, very nice. Congrats, you guys, man! What a cool podcast. This is very informative, and I feel like we touched a lot of bases, and we got really deep into some of the topics, like some back end stuff and a lot of speculation, dude. So yeah, amazing. Anything else before we start wrapping it up?
No, that's all I got, man.
Dude,
there's so much to happen.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, totally. Yeah, man. I mean, make sure you guys keep in touch with us at TalkShotPod on Twitter. There's always news popping off, so we're always talking about, talking Top Shot. So follow us there. Follow us on Instagram at TalkShotPod. Yeah, that's right. Lint324. It is Chetty Wap. And yeah, man, I think we're good to go for today, man. So for everybody that's pulling packs, good luck. For everyone that received their Dapper balances, their Top Shot Showcase Dapper credit, let us know what you guys are going to spend it on. The $20.
I forgot to ask you guys, did you get so I got mine, actually. I got mine. Yeah. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Like, I had 3 of the exact same player and only of that same player. And you were like, are you going to get it? I got it. I got it today.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes, the Devin triple vestilectomy.
Somebody said it. Somebody said it.
Very good. Very good. All right, you guys. I'm going to go bowling with my moms. So I'll
enjoy, man. Enjoy.
Peace.